Imani would sit at the front of the class, but no one wanted to sit near her. All the chairs around her would be empty. The lecturers who admired her in the first week now ignored her during a class. The teacher announced a group assignment. When I call your name, please join your group. The teacher instructed this assignment is important and counts for 25% of your final marks. The teacher began calling out names. When he called Elle, she was assigned to Group B, which included some of the friends she had made in the first week as she stood up. They started laughing. One of the girls snared. "Didn't you say your name is Ma? I knew it. You could never be her." They all laughed, and one of them told the teacher, "We don't want Alo in our group." The teacher frowned. "You cannot choose who is in your group. Only I can decide that?" Suddenly, another group raised their hand. "We don't want T-Po in our group either." One of them shouted, referring to a lady with pimples who was always quiet and looked down on the class. Erupted in laughter. The teacher struggled to calm. "Everyone down." Imani stood up and said firmly, "Don't worry about me, sir. I will do the assignment with her." The room fell silent. Some students muted. "You deserve each other," replied confidently. "Of course we do." The lady they called TPO, whose real name was Obi, looked very sad and ran out of the class. Ran after her calling out, "Please wait." There was a very handsome guy in the corridor calling out to Obi, looking in Obi's direction. As Imani ran down the corridor, she accidentally bumped into this handsome guy. His books fell to the floor. Imani quickly glanced up and saw Obama running to the bathrooms, but she stopped to help the guy pick up his books. "I'm so sorry, Imani said repeatedly. The guy smiled and said, "It's okay, really." After they picked up the books, Imani rushed to find Obi. The guy gently grabbed her hand and asked, "Please, what's your name?" "My name, Imani," she replied quickly, then ran after Oba. Other students who saw the handsome guy talking to Imani started laughing. Some said, "She means her name is the opposite of Imani." The girls were gossiping, "What is a handsome guy like that doing talking to that hideous girl?" Imani ignored the comments and focused on finding Obi. She finally caught up with her in the bathroom. "Obi, please don't be sad," Imani said gently. "We will do this assignment together and show them what we can." Obi wiped her tears and managed a small smile. "Thank you, Imani. You're the only one who has been kind to me." Obi moved to sit at the front next to Imani, and they started talking and laughing during lunch. Imani was usually alone, but one afternoon as she sat down to eat, she heard voices. "Can we join you?" asked Obi to surprise. Obi was not alone. The handsome guy she had bumped into was with her. Man nodded, and they all sat down together. "Thank you for standing up for my sister." The guy said, "My name is Ikuku." Imani was taken aback. "Your sister?" "Yes, Obi is my sister," Ikuku replied with a warm smile. Captivated by Ikuku as he spoke, she felt frozen in place. It was love at first sight for her. Ikuku continued to talk. "I am in my final year of business management," he said. But Imani barely heard. His words, she was lost in her own world, admiring Ikuku. She noticed his kind eyes, his gentle smile, and the way he spoke with confidence. Everything about him seemed perfect to her. Obi noticed Imani's distraction and smiled knowingly. "Imani, are you okay?" Imani snapped back to reality. Yes, I'm fine. It's just nice to have company." Ikuku chuckled. "I'm glad we can join you. We could do this more often." Imani nodded, feeling a warmth in her heart. When Imani got to her room, she removed her mask. She thought to herself, "I have to take this off so that Ikuku can see the real me. But what if he doesn't like me at all? Maybe he only likes the Imani he sees now." Imani started pacing back and forth, wondering if Ikuku liked her for who she truly was. Her thoughts were racing. She threw herself on the bed, staring at the ceiling and clung to herself anyways. "I will wait a bit longer," she said softly. "Maybe it's better this way for now?" She smiled, feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement. Not sure what the future held, but hopeful for what might come. The next morning, Imani was very excited. She wore the best outfit she had sewn herself. Obi noticed and smiled. "Why are you all dressed up?" Imani Obi asked, teasingly. Imani just grinned in class. Everyone stared at her. The lady whispered to each other. "The outfit may be beautiful, but it won't take away her hideous face." But from that day on, nothing could take away Imani's happiness. Whenever Obi told a little joke, Imani would burst out laughing when lunchtime came. Imani was the first to rush out of the classroom, leaving Obi behind. "Wait for me," Imani Obi called out. And Obi sat at their usual spot. After a while, started to feel anxious where their lunch is almost over. Obi gave her a KNSM. "I don't know, we don't always hang out together. You know?" Imani felt a pea of sadness. But suddenly, Ikuku came running over. "Oh, I had to submit my final assignment. Today is my last day here. I will only come back to submit assignments." Ikuku explained. He looked at Imani and added, "I'm glad you are taking care of my sister Imani. You have been very kind to her." Imani nodded, trying to hide her disappointment. Ikuku noticed and teed. "Are you sad that you won't be seeing me anymore?" Imani. They both smiled and quickly said, "No. I've been hanging out by myself all this while. Hope you're laughed," and they all went back to class. Imani and Obi became best friends. Ikuku occasionally visited, using the excuse of submitting schoolwork, but never spoke of love, which left Imani doubting herself. Despite her doubts, Imani focused on her studies and friendship with Obi. Their hard work paid off as they excelled academically, becoming a well-known pair in college. However, they noticed no guys showed interest in them, which was sometimes hard to ignore. One evening, Obi asked Imani if she wondered why no one asked them out. Imani smiled sadly, acknowledging that people only saw their outward appearance. They consoled each other, focusing on their studies and dreams. As the term ended, Obi invited Imani to her sister's wedding, and Imani was delighted to accept. On the last day of term, a limousine picked them up, astonishing their classmates. Imani felt overwhelmed as they approached Obi's grand home, realizing Obi came from a wealthy family. At the mansion, everyone addressed Obi as Princess, which left Imani speechless. The king and queen warmly welcomed them, and Imani was shown to a luxurious bedroom. The wedding was extravagant, and Imani caught the bouquet, but felt sad as she had no lover. Obi comforted her, saying her time would come, and Ikuku agreed. Later in the garden, Ikuku confessed his love to Imani, who was overjoyed. They ran back to the palace, where Ikuku announced his intention to marry Imani. Imani then revealed her true beauty, surprising everyone, including the queen, who welcomed her as the future queen. Imani and Ikuku were engaged before the next term began. When college reopened, Imani, now the top student in fashion design, was called to the stage to receive her award. She removed her mask during her speech, stunning the crowd as Ikuku shouted proudly from the audience. Please subscribe for more content like this.